Hey, welcome to the weekday here at the Bayhope TV studios. It's going to be our kind of regular podcast and video element thing as we kind of try to figure all this out and really engage and connect with you. But hey, I'm Andy, the digital pastor here at Bayhope.
I'm Mike. I am the worship director here and a worship leader and just all around fun guy.
All around fun guy. And if you didn't know this, actually, we're related. We share DNA.
We
together.
Brother from the same mother.
and the same father.
Oh,
yes,
right,
that's him.
too.
So, hey, this is we're going to be bringing video and podcast elements to you via the weekday, and it's really just a chance, another way for us to engage, both of us, but also our entire church, our staff, our volunteers, our pastoral team, to engage and connect with you. We're going to be bringing you kind of post-sermon wrap-ups from Pastor Matthew and some of our other pastors and other speaking platform people. We're also going to be really having interviews and just kind of some fun time drinking coffee and really just getting a chance to hang out with you. The coolest part about the video thing is that you get to see our smiling, delightful faces, but also the audio, the podcast component. You can take us with you on your phone via iTunes and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. As soon as we get there, we'll be kind of posting links and doing the whole information thing to get all of this out to you. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to having this guy by my side. He and I have a fairly decent relationship most of the time. Sometimes it ends up with...
Speak for yourself.
Sometimes it ends up with fighting and tossing of coffee mugs, but most of the time we get together just fine. But hey, to kick off the weekday here at Bayhope TV, we really wanted to talk about this past weekend and kind of this brand new series that Pastor Matthew kicked off, Pray at Your Own Risk, and it's he started off with this talk of Psalm 139, and it's kind of David's prayer of surrender, really. And I'd love to have your kind of input on this, because we kind of are doing separate things on a Sunday morning. Yeah. So part of what the weekday is going to be peeling back of the curtain a little bit of behind the scenes, if you will, as to how things work here at Bayhope, and really how the Sunday morning, the weekend service thing happens.
Yeah.
And so he and I get to catch different parts of the message during the morning. And Pastor Matthew kind of asked these 5 questions. I'm going to read them off. You've probably heard them. We're talking about them all in our online campus Facebook group, as well as the kind of Bayhope Facebook page and our Instagram handle, or our Instagram page as well.
Yeah.
But he asked these 5 questions. He said, number 1, what does God think about me? So what is God's perception of me? Number 2, where is God present in my life? Kind of where are you seeing God's presence in your life? Number 3, does God have a purpose for my life? Number 4, not the other one, 4, how can I find peace in God? So how can I find God's peace for my life? And number 5, and I kind of guess this is the wrap up, but will God show me the way, kind of God's pathway? And Mike, I want to throw this to you. Yeah. What out of those 5 questions, like which one hits you the hardest?
Yeah.
This is a big question, broad question.
I mean, I think for right now, how can I find peace in my life is probably a big one for me, for you. I mean, probably for you as well. Where in the world can we find peace in the chaos? Which I feel like everything is just unsettled right now. And, but I think more probably that one hits me probably right now. But the one that I really honestly have been thinking about for a long time, maybe for about 1.5 years or so, probably almost close to 2 years, is what does God think of me or think about me? What's God's perception of me? And I remember like about 1.5 years ago, I was on a cruise and I was up on the top of the cruise deck. It was like 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock, and I was outside reading and just really, really cool space, really cool environment. And I talked to you about this a little bit ago, but I was reading a book called The Divine Conspiracy by Dallas Willard.
Great book. And
I had this like giant revelation that God is not passive aggressive.
Wait. So he's not that snarky, like
no,
teenager.
I get this feeling sometimes where like I do something wrong, or like, I don't follow through in what I'm going to do. And Jesus goes to the cross with like this thing in the back. It's like, well, you better be thankful for me, like,
look what I did.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you've ever felt that way before, but like, it took me by surprise. Like, oh my gosh, like God is not mad at me. And more than that, like God is not passive aggressive. Like he's not passively aggressive towards me or the wrong things I do. Like he genuinely loves me. He genuinely wants what's best for me. When he's upset, like, or when I'm upset, like he's upset. When something breaks my heart, it breaks his heart, and vice versa. When we feel joy, when we know joy, like we actually know him. And so that's been rocking my world for a good year and a half now.
I think that's a very interesting through line, and we could go hours and hours and hours on the kind of passive aggressive versus overly savior kind of picture of the Lord. But I love the idea that David throughout, he starts off Psalm 139 by saying, "Search me, you have tried me and searched me," and all these other things. And I think it takes an interesting bit of faith on your part and everybody's part to really say, okay, God, I'm going to trust that you're not just like going to throw me under the bus when it comes time. So,
well, it's being vulnerable, you know, and we have a really tough time being vulnerable with each other because like we're opening ourselves up to judgment or to shame. And like and sometimes I feel like people feel that when they open themselves up to God, like, he's gonna judge me. Like he's gonna be this angry God. He's gonna throw lightning bolts. He's, gonna give me boils or whatever. I don't know, a plague or something. Because I lied to my friend about, him not, I don't want him to borrow my hedge trimmer or something. So
by the way, I need my hedge trimmer.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, Mike had my pressure washer for a good 6 months or so.
And I was worried.
I wasn't. I think the one that hits me out of all that is the purpose, and that goes to my history and kind of where my walk with Jesus. And I was obviously drug addict and all those other things, and had a history of kind of abuse in that form. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older and really started hanging out with this guy more and more and more after I kind of went off to college, and he and my sister were leading worship for a church that we were going to at the time. And I came home and kind of crashed out of college and failed out and all these other things, and started hanging out with them and really started experiencing the revelation of the Lord, but never really had a purpose to all of that. And I still, to this day, I'm 36, going to be 37 years old. I'm getting super old. I'm not super old, by the way, for anybody watching or listening.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. I still, some days I wake up and I go, okay, God, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know how to be a dad and a husband and a pastor and a producer. I don't know how to do all these things. And so when I hear that, I go, oh man, I need to take 5 minutes and just say, thank you, God, for bringing me this far. Yeah. And what's next? Right. So those are the things that kind of hit me hard. Any other wrap up from this past weekend?
Well, I think, to kind of piggyback off the purpose thing, like God sometimes will bring to us like these giant revelations. So about like the purpose, like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. But so much of, I feel like this walk, this life that we lead with God is all about these tiny, he's never going to give you, for the most part, like 7 steps down the road. He's going to give you that 1 inch that you have to go today. Yep. And that's going to push you in the right direction. And really, there's so much grace in that, honestly, because like if he were to give 10 years ago, if God would have told me what I'm going to be doing today, I probably wouldn't have gotten there. I probably would not be here because 10 years ago I was in a band and we were like, signing a record deal and like going on tour and all that kind of stuff. And I would have been so upset knowing that like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do what I'm doing right now. Yeah. But really like God has fulfilled me in a way that like I would have never even known possible. And is actually a lot smarter than we are. By not by not revealing everything to us, because like really we don't want that, like, because we're not going to be able to be as fulfilled as what God would lead us one step at a time every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't top that, other than, he was talking about the Divine Conspiracy, a book by Dallas Willard, and you could go eons about that book. It's thick, it's just rich, but he actually uses a phrase in there. He says, it's the moment by moment decisions that really shape your life in the way of Jesus. And he's talking about kind of the whole conspiracy of what the cross was and all this other stuff. But it's those moment-to-moment decisions that we make every single day that really push us down the track of that purpose. So,
totally.
Man, I love this. I love getting a chance to connect with you. We're going to wrap up right now, and we're going to kind of get moving and get this out there. But hey, if you have any feedback, anything that you want us to be talking about, man, we really just want to engage and connect with you. I keep saying that word engage. I feel like it's the super hot button word in the world right now, man. But we really do. We really want to just know you and live with you and love on you and all those things. So let us know how we can be praying for you and how we can be kind of ministering to you in this. But yeah, looking forward to getting a chance to connect with you.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Bay Hope TV. Be sure to like and share these videos with your friends, as it really does help this channel out. And be sure to subscribe for more Bay Hope TV content. As always, thanks for watching.